been snowing a lot recently, and I've been spending more time indoors. But last week, this gave me a thought. What would it be like to have unlimited, one-of-a-kind illustrated stories about whatever I could dream up, on demand, at any time? Well, I made an app to find out. Welcome to the world of hyper-customizable throwaway entertainment. Combining multiple cutting-edge machine learning techniques with my product design background, I created my magic book. My app isn't for sale though. I make fully working products just to let me test my hypotheses about future experiences, to feel what I got right or what I got wrong, and to figure out what to explore next. I call these functional speculations. For this app, I use the natural language input and voice output baked into iOS, OpenAI's GPT-3 for story text generation, and a local instance of Stable Diffusion for image generation. I also use Stable Diffusion to create the UI assets. Let's hear a story.
Wonderful. Press and hold the crystal and tell me what you want your bedtime story to be about.
A kitten who dreams of being a movie star.
Okay, give me a second to make your bedtime story. I think this is a fun one. I've almost got it. Once upon a time there was a small and very adventurous kitten. She dreamt of one day becoming a famous movie star. But she had no idea how to make her dream come true. One starry night, she saw a shooting star and wished upon it. In an instant, she found herself transformed into a big city feline. She moved to Hollywood and a new life had begun. Soon enough, she was appearing on the silver screen week after week. And while it seemed like a dream come true, deep down she wanted more. But she never forgot to dream and grant wishes to other wee cats. What kind of story would you like to hear?
That was a fun one. So, how did it feel? What did I learn? Well, to start with, both the images and the text are throwaway. That's fine because that's the point. I'm more excited to see my idea realized than be concerned if I could see that same thing over and over again. If I really wanted, I could generate a new version of that same story. Overall, the experience satisfied my desire to be entertained for a short amount of time. The storyline matched my prompt. There were a few surprises in there, and even kind of a moral at the end. I have no concerns that the images weren't perfect or matched the text exactly. There was enough in there that let my imagination fill in the gaps. As these technologies progress, this is only going to get better. To make the app work, I had to do a lot of behind-the-scenes prompt engineering. That is, crafting just the right words to attach to the spoken input so that the AI could produce the desired results. From the look and feel of each story type, to how GPT-3 produced consistently formatted text that I could parse and present, this work took time. People who have a knowledge of engineering prompts will be valuable to companies wanting to make their own versions of such apps. The systems don't work perfectly right out of the box, yet. I think there are some interesting new opportunities stemming from this experiment. First is how companies with existing brands and whole universes of content fit into this world. There will, of course, be concern about their characters being placed into stories that don't fit with the company's core principles, or images that look less than perfect. However, the upside of this technology is that those companies could train their own text and image generating models on their existing assets, leveraging their investments. Apps like mine show potential for downloadable ML content. Imagine in-app purchases for your favorite characters to be placed into the worlds of your imagination. Which brings me to my second opportunity, one for artists. If we're going to have prompt engineers, couldn't we also have style engineers? Just like for larger companies, this sort of generative story app provides a marketplace for individual artists to sell models of their unique look and feel. If you have enough art to train a model, Your artistic style might be the next great generative story art. I think this sort of hyper-customizable throwaway entertainment is inevitable. We're overloaded right now with so much content we can't possibly consume it all. Yet none of it is personal, from our own imaginations or from our own histories. I believe that ML technologies provide an opportunity for everyone to be more creative and entertained. There's more to get into, but I'll save that for future explorations. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Bye!
Hi, what kind of story do you want to hear today? Great, press and hold the crystal and tell me what you want your adventure story to be about.
A little boy who wants to find a pumpkin pie.
Okay, give me a second to make your adventure story. I cannot wait for you to hear this. I've almost got it. Once upon a time, there was a little boy who wanted to find a pumpkin pie. So he set off on an adventure in search of the tastiest pie he could find. He adventured through forests, across rivers and into the heart of a mountain. But alas, he couldn't find a single pumpkin pie. Until one day, he heard the most delicious smell in the air. He followed the scent and eventually found a bakery. When he saw the pumpkin pies in the window, he was overjoyed. He had found the perfect pie and he ran home beaming. After a day of adventure, the little boy had found his prize. What kind of story would you like this time? Cool. Press and hold the crystal and tell me what your fairy tale is about.
A king and queen who live in the jungle but want to go to the big city.
Okay, give me a second to make your fairy tale. I cannot wait for you to hear this. I've almost got it. Once upon a time, a king and queen lived in the jungle. But they always wanted to see what it would be like to visit the big city. So they packed their bags and set out to explore the world. They weren't prepared for the vast crowds and bustling chaos. But the king and queen found the exciting and wondrous sights enchanting. Each street corner was packed with activity and culture. The king and queen returned to their home in the jungle, full of stories and new experiences. And though they enjoyed their adventures, they were glad to be back in the warm jungle. From then on they visited the big city often, but their true home was always in the jungle. What kind of story would you like now? Wonderful. Press and hold the crystal and tell me what you want your bedtime story to be about.
A chihuahua who likes cake without icing.
Okay, give me a second to make your bedtime story. I think this is a fun one. I've almost got it. Once upon a time, long ago, there lived a chihuahua. He lived in a sunny desert town with friends who liked to play. His favorite thing was to find sweet treats left on the ground. But no matter how many goodies he found, he never liked the icing. He searched all day and night, until one day he found the perfect treat. Finally, a cake without icing, just the way he liked it. He shared the cake with his friends and the whole town was filled with joy. From that day forward, he never looked for another kind of treat. The Chihuahua and his friends all lived happily ever after, content to eat cake without icing. What kind of story would you like to hear?